What's up, Sunny here from Personal Mastery Quest, and today I'm coming at you with a casual video. I just want to relay a lesson that I have learned in my life, at least over the past year, as I've been beginning my entrepreneurship journey and really going my own path, creating my own life. And the lesson that I've learned is regarding getting overwhelmed. We all have times in our lives, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what profession you're in, doesn't matter how much money you make, what kind of health you have, you do get overwhelmed at times. There will be certain days where you wonder, am I doing enough? Am I being enough? Is my future going to look like I want it to look? Am I going to be able to do the things that I want to do in this life? All those sorts of questions just keep running in your mind, and maybe you look to the future and you start to think about how much you still have yet to do, how much work you still have to do to maybe get a certain result that you want to get. Or maybe you start to compare yourself, not even consciously, maybe randomly you start to compare yourself with the ones around you. You start to compare yourself with your friends. Where they are, what their life situation is like compared to yours. Or maybe you're on social media and social media these days is really molding our worldview of what success is, what well-being and what a good life is. So maybe you're comparing your life to what you see on social media. And regardless of what it is, you get overwhelmed at times and you start to question, am I doing enough? And that kind of anxiety kicks in. So today I just wanted to make a quick video to show you how to deal with those times, because you shouldn't try to run away from those times. Feeling overwhelmed is not a bad thing. It's okay. You just have to learn how to deal with it properly without losing your balance. So in the beginning, I remember when this used to happen to me was when I had just started to think about going my own way. When I was about to graduate college and I was thinking about not applying to any jobs, but instead, and leaving my career in finance where I had been interning and just going my own way and starting from scratch, a business that I didn't even know what it was going to be yet. And I remember throughout that phase, I had a lot of anxiety. I was always comparing myself to my friends, always wondering, will it work out? And then even when I did begin the journey, through the initial couple of months, sometimes I would have no idea what my next step would be. I had exhausted my current step. Maybe I tried something out, it didn't work. And at that point, I had no idea what I would do next, how it would all work out for me. So during those times, I used to feel so overwhelmed, and that feeling used to kind of consume me, and I used to lose my balance and start to think negatively or picture myself in negative scenarios. And as you know now by watching my channel, if you have been for a while, when you start to imagine yourself in negative scenarios, what you're doing is you're really setting yourself up to experience those later in life. So that's not something we want to do. Now, eventually, what I started to do after I started to gain a little bit more knowledge about the flow of life and how the flow of life has the solutions to all of our problems, what I started to do is whenever I got overwhelmed and whenever I started to feel that anxiety of not knowing what's coming next, I used to tell myself that I'm in a very good spot. I used to affirm my well-being rather than get scared and start imagining myself in negative scenarios. And one reason for that is a quote that I learned a long time ago, very early on in my spiritual journey, which is, the more uncertain I seem to be, the more secure I will feel, because I know that uncertainty is the path to my freedom. And this is a quote by Deepak Chopra, who from the book 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And what this basically means is that most people, the way they live their lives is they plan out every single thing. They know what they're gonna have for dinner tonight. They know what they're gonna be doing next week at 2 p.m. on a Thursday. They know what their life will look like next month. They know what job they'll have next year, when they will have a pension, when they will get married, then when they will retire. And these are the rhythms that the ego loves to live by, because it likes to measure its success and well-being by these milestones and these basically predictable outcomes. It wants to know what is going to happen when, because the ego is very afraid of loss. And because it is so afraid of loss, it likes to know everything in advance. But the soul is here in this physical reality to experience life just one frame at a time. It is here to watch life unfold, and you are living most through your soul when you don't know what's going to come next. When you live through the ego, there are very little possibilities of what the next frame could be. You limit your life to a certain context. But when you live through the soul and you don't know what's coming next, it means the infinite possibilities that is characteristic of the soul is available to you. So when you are completely uncertain of what your tomorrow will look like, it actually means that you are in a better place than you would be if you knew exactly what tomorrow had for you in store. Really try to change your mindset around that. The more uncertain I seem to be, the more secure I will feel, because uncertainty is the path to my freedom. Uncertainty means that you are living life correctly. You are meant to live this life not knowing exactly what is going to happen next. And that is what makes this life interesting. The ego gets overwhelmed in those scenarios. However, the soul, the higher self, rejoices in that scenario because it knows that anything is possible next. Yes, the negative scenario is possible. However, the greatest miracle that you couldn't even imagine is possible. With that mindset, you have to go forward. Now, that's just the foundation, right, upon which we move forward. So a practice that I started to implement is, first I would affirm this to myself, this principle of feeling secure if I'm uncertain. And then I would simply let go of all control. What I started to do is surrender to the script of life, to the flow of life. For this, you have to understand that nature always takes the path of least resistance. And the path of least resistance has the solutions, the optimal solutions to all of your problems. And when you are feeling uncertain, when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you have no idea how to make it out of a situation, the best thing you can do is to completely let go of all control of the mind to try to fix the situation, and rather just be open to all the solutions flowing into your life. So rather than creating the solutions, you are allowing the solutions to flow into your life. And this works wonders. So for example, a couple of months, into the entrepreneurship journey, when I would have no idea what's coming up next, what I would do is literally just let go of working for like 2 days. And I would stop trying to build anything. I would stop working on my website. I would stop trying to attract clients. I would simply just do what I enjoyed and took care of my well-being. Maybe I would watch sports. Maybe I would go, outside, like to a nice restaurant or whatever. I just took care of my own well-being, and I got it off my mind that I didn't know what was coming next. And I simply just kept following the flow. And every time, to my surprise, the next step flew into my life, always. And there are countless experiences of this that I would love to share with you maybe in another video. But the next step always presents itself. That is characteristic of the flow of life. The next step will always come to you if you allow it, rather than if you try to create it. Because what happens is that oftentimes when you try to create it, you actually get in the way of the optimal solution coming into your life. And you actually further get into a greater state of overwhelm because the solution that you come up with usually doesn't work. So even now in my life, whenever I come across times where I get overwhelmed, and trust me, I do fairly often, now I no longer get into a negative state. Now I no longer think of negative scenarios. I actually use it as an opportunity to spark my awareness, to come into a greater, higher alert state of awareness, and then picture what is the best way the situation could turn out to be. I don't even try to formulate a pathway to what I want to happen. I simply think of the scenario I wish to experience. So it's almost like you setting the destination in your GPS. You're not picking every turn, you're not choosing which highway to go on. You let the GPS figure all that out. You simply choose the destination and implant it right here, all over, in every atom, every cell of your being. Know where you are going. And because you have set that destination, trust the flow of life to bring you there. The path of least resistance. Always remember that. The flow always uses the path of least resistance, and it will bring you the optimal solution, the optimal next step whenever you are feeling overwhelmed. Actually, at all times, but this is when it is most beneficial to go with the flow. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope this connects with you at some level. I hope you are willing to try this out. I know it takes a lot of trust. Sometimes it's scary. It is, you know, your ego is unwilling to try out just letting go. But I welcome you to do it little by little, at least. If you can't just do it all, you know, all at once, let go of control little by little in your life. What you'll start to notice is that the more you let go of control, the more control you actually gain over your life. And then you will start to become less and less overwhelmed over time. All right, try it out. Let me know of what you think about this philosophy, about this principle in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's discuss. But that's all I have for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up and share this video with a friend who would also find it helpful. If you would like to get coaching with me one-on-one, the link for that is in the description box below. But other than that, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.